Worship is what we're doing right now, right? It's what we do every Sunday, or what some of us do every Sunday at this time, right? This is what worship is, right? No. Tricked you. You'll pay closer attention, won't you? Yeah. Now, this is a time of worship, and yes, this is worship. The problem that we have as the church is that we have allowed ourselves to believe that this is it, that this is what worship is. So, this is not just what worship is. We have allowed ourselves to be told that, to be taught that. Worship is when we gather for that hour and 15 or 20 minutes on Sunday, and we listen to the message, we listen to the scriptures, we listen to the music that has been lovingly prepared for us, we listen to the word as it's shared with us. This is what worship is all about. This is a time of worship. This is a type of worship. But worship is so much more than that. To put very succinctly on something that you could embroider on a pillow. Are you writing this down? I want this on a pillow. Embroidered on a pillow. A pillow for everyone here, so when you lay your head down by osmosis, it will come in. Worship is what you do after you say you believe. It really is that simple. How many of you believe in the living God, the risen Christ, and the Holy Spirit? Raise your hands. You think you're exempt? I want to see a hand. Okay. Either that or we need to work on you some more. Now, we all believe. So how you live your life, the choices that you make, the actions that you take, that's worship. Jesus refers to a passage in Isaiah. Isaiah leads off with this. This is like first chapter Isaiah. God is speaking through the prophet, saying to the people, and I paraphrase, you guys get together on the Sabbath, you have these wonderful fasts, you sing the psalms, you have the prayers. You know what? I'm tired of it. I'm sick of listening to it. You're actually making me physically sick when you do it. Because I look down upon you. Now, he's saying this to the Hebrew people, not to us, because this is not pertain to us whatsoever. God looks down and he says, you guys say all the right stuff. You go through all the right motions. You say the right creeds. You got that Lord's Prayer down like that. You can whip that sucker off in seconds. You got it all together. But you walk out of the gathering and you can't wait to take advantage of each other. To lie, to cheat, to steal, to do whatever is going to make you feel better, whatever is going to take care of you. And God says, I'm tired of it. So you can see why I say that really doesn't pertain to us here, especially at South Church, because we know that we have unbelievably sacred and moving worship services, and you go forth from this place with the power of the Spirit that just allowed you to float through the rest of the week doing exactly what God calls you to do. Right? See? David Reynolds there going, what church are you talking to? This is I love it. I love it when you talk to people and you say, why don't you come to church more often? Number one answer? Well, number one answer is it's too early in the morning. Number two answer is it's filled with hypocrites. That really is the number two answer. Filled with hypocrites. A survey taken by the Pew group that studies the religious life throughout America. The number two reason is I don't want to go because it's filled with hypocrites. Name me an organization that you can go to that's not filled with hypocrites. Name me a family that's not filled with hypocrites. Name me a person other than me that is not a hypocrite. And God knows that. What God really doesn't like is when we come together and piously put on airs and think we have now done our duty to God. God created us so that we might be in relationship, that we might worship God. And we have now done this well for an hour and 15 or 20 minutes. So we're set, we're okay to go. That's not worship. Worship is how you live your lives when you walk out those doors. We all know and can recite in seconds the Lord's Prayer. God knows that. How many of us live the Lord's Prayer? Many of us can recite the Apostles' Creed, the Nicene Creed, the UCC Statement of Faith. They all say wonderful, wonderful things. And when we say them, we are giving glory and worship to God. But how many of us go out and actually live it? Kathy and I were driving around a couple of weeks ago, and we wondered. And please, I really do invite you to share with us afterwards, after church while we're downstairs and stuff. Do you ever get tired of looking at the beauty that's around you? Do you ever take it for granted? See, we're newbies, so every time we're driving to Littleton, I turn a curve on the highway, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is more beautiful than the last stretch of highway. And we're just amazed at how gorgeous it is. Kathy arranged her sewing room so that she can sit at her desk and her sewing machine and look out at her mountain. Because you don't do that in St. Louis. You can see the arch, but, you know. Looking out at the beauty and the wonder around you, just stopping and saying, thank you. Noticing it and appreciating it, that's worship. Seeing someone that's in need, whatever that need might be, and not grilling that person. You know, Seth comes in and says, I need $20 for oil. Don't you have a job? I ask you a question. You have a job? Do you make money? Yes. What do you do with that money? Do you have a cell phone? Do you have cable? Do you have a car? Do you ever go out to eat? If you did these things and didn't do them, then the $20 wouldn't be a problem in your life. Oh, all right, I'll help you this time. That's not worship. Worship would be, I need $20 for oil. Fine, let me help you. And how can I help you so that this doesn't happen again for you? So that we can maybe see and look at and take care of problems for you, offering to help somebody in need. That's worship. You ever walk down the street and look at somebody and just see the pain and anguish on their face? You ever experienced that? I mean, obviously you don't know what it is. You wouldn't know this person if you saw them again. But you can just see they're hurting. Smiling. Saying, hi, have a nice day. That's worship. Doing something that notices the need of a brother and sister. And just doing something small. this time that we gather each and every Sunday in our special services, yes, it is important. Yes, it is a form of worship. But we need to realize that that's not what it's all about. You really, and this is the terrible thing for a pastor to say, you really don't need me in order to worship. You don't. Now, it's nice to have, because then somebody can make sure everything gets organized and gets taken care of. And that you can blame when it goes an hour and 15 or 20 minutes. But you don't need me. That anthem the choir sung today was beautiful. It was truly moving. And yes, it no doubt enhanced our time together, but we didn't need it. We didn't have to have it in order for us to worship. We have come to define worship in such strict and regimented ways that these elements have to be there in order for us to have a real worship experience. And if you change them, is it really worship? Now, obviously, in our short time together, you've already, I hope, gleaned that I'm not a real big proponent of you have to have all the different aspects in order. And even if they are in order, that you can't change them on the fly. Which is why I love people like Susan, that I can reach over and say, don't play that next. I'll tell you when. And she just says, oh, God, they don't pay me enough. Okay. And we change things around, but we're still worshiping.